Lovely. So for our final presenter today, we have a chap called Misch. Now, what I love about Misch, he's the CEO and the founder of Neon Internet, which is this, I guess it's kind of an advertising communication type company, but what I love about Misch is he's actually the technical guy. So he's not that, communication advertising specialist, he's the tech behind it, which is really, really fascinating to me. So he's going to come and talk about, so he told me what he was going to talk about, and I'll be honest, I got a bit depressed. So maybe I'm going to let you hear what he has to say, and maybe you don't want to hear it, but I think we have to, right? Misch, can I call you up on stage, please? Can I have a round of applause?
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so that's actually already the second slide. The first slide, before we start, a little trigger warning, because this slide or this presentation is going to contain some stuff where you might think afterwards, shit, I'm going to lose my job. I don't know how many artists are in the audience, but yeah, just so you know, please don't be triggered, and we can also have a discussion afterwards if you're going to stay here. Topic of today is stories of the future, how artificial intelligence is going to kill the video star. Actually, I don't know how old you guys are, but maybe you remember this song from the 80s, Video Killed the Radio Star. A very bad singer, but this song actually explained or described in the 80s how video was becoming the most important medium and replacing the radio star as the most important anchorman or star celebrity in society. And yeah, what I want to explain to you guys today is how the same thing is going to happen again, but this time it's not going to be humans that are replacing humans, but it's going to be artificial intelligence and digital characters that will replace humans as the center of the media that we consume. So one point that I want to make today is that the fifth industrial revolution is coming. It's going to be the cherry on top of everything that we had so far. We had the steam engine, we had electricity, we had the computer, we had the internet, and the next phase is going to be artificial intelligence. And this time, the difference is that this revolution is going to be mostly a cultural revolution and not really an industrial one. So what am I talking about? What we are seeing now is that since April this year, new tools have flooded the software market. These tools are often referred to as text-to-image AI, meaning that with these tools, you can now transform any text line that you can think of into an actual image that looks like something that would have been produced by a human. And that's why I believe that, it's not my belief, it's actually the reality that artificial intelligence is now replacing humans in critical art infrastructures. How do these tools look like? So the first one that was actually the iPhone moment this year was when in April a company called OpenAI, that was actually co-founded by Elon Musk, released a tool called DALL-E 2. DALL-E 2 reminds us a bit of Google. You have a text input, you have a prompt line where you can put in anything that you want, and DALL-E is going to generate an image for you. So take, for example, this little fur creature at the bottom of the page. You would put in something like pink fur monster or purple fur monster, and DALL-E would generate an image of a purple fur monster that looks like this creature at the bottom of the page. DALL-E is not the only one of these tools that came out recently. We have others. We have, for example, Midjourney, which works mostly through a Discord server. So you're chatting with the Discord bot, you type in something like /imagine, and then generate a purple fur monster, and Midjourney is gonna generate a purple fur monster for you. And this is how it looks. These are examples of images, and by the way, every image in this presentation was AI generated, so everything that you've seen so far was made by AI, and these are some examples of images that were all AI generated. Let's take, for example, the gray Gandalf character at the bottom. If I would want to generate this character, what I would type into Midjourney or DALL-E would be something like old Caucasian gray man on a gray background with a long beard that looks like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, and these tools would generate this character for me. Of course, this revolution is sparking an entire industry right now. So we are not only seeing these prompt tools and prompt input software, but we are also seeing new software come on top, like, for example, Lexicon.art, which is something like a Google image search for AI-generated art. So on this website, what you can do is you can search, for example, for anime or manga, and Lexica will show you thousands of AI-generated images of AI manga. So what we can conclude is that the genie is now out of the bottle. We have open source AI like this that is freely available on the market. The information hazard has spread, and there's no way we can put this genie back into the bottle. There's no way this can be regulated, but it needs to be somehow stopped, and if it is not stopped, then it will definitely disrupt the entire creative industry as it works today. And it's only the beginning, so maybe you recognize these three characters. It's three Pokemon, and I think what we have seen so far in this presentation makes it very clear that these things are already very sophisticated, but they have only existed for like six months now. They came out in April. So yeah, we are only just now seeing how deep the rabbit hole actually goes. Okay, this is actually the wrong presentation. But yeah, anyways, this is art in the, it's not art in the age of mechanical reproduction anymore. It's actually art in the age of artificial reproduction. It's this book, maybe you've heard about it, by Walter Benjamin, that was written at the beginning of the 20th century. And in this book, Walter Benjamin talks about when photography first came out, how we suddenly were able to reproduce any piece of art, and as a consequence, art loses its aura. Yeah, and now what we're seeing is that the mechanical reproduction is being replaced by artificial reproduction. And there's a consequence, of course, many jobs will disappear, and this is what I meant at the very beginning. We have the job of the photographer, we have the job of the photo model, we have the job of the concept artist, the illustrator, the comic drawer, the motion designer, the fashion designer. All of them will not only be inspired by art, but they will actually use this new technology to create their art. In 5 seconds, they can copy the style of one of the old masters like Van Gogh, Picasso, Dali, or anyone, and the kid with a computer today can reproduce an artwork that these people took like 50 years to perfect and define their style, and they can now be replaced in a matter of seconds. And with it goes down an entire industry, like all the related jobs, the assistants, the set workers, the retoucher, and all of them, they will be dragged down and be replaced by this technology. So yeah, these guys were killed, they are being killed by AI, but somehow we need to move forward, right? So let's press F and see what comes next. We have the birth of the prompt designer, which is a new kind of job that is now being born. It's an intellectual job, it's not a physical job, it's not like a crafts job where you need to master the paintbrush or tools like Photoshop, but where you simply need to know a lot about art history, where you need to know a lot about artists, about styles, about input commands that you send to the AI so that the AI can generate the images that you want for you. And this background that you see right there is, by the way, also AI generated with this exact prompt line, the birth of the prompt designer. Let's have a look at an example. Here we have a marble statue of Megan Fox. Maybe you guys know Megan Fox. If we would want to generate this picture using Midjourney, this is the line of text that we would need to put in. Megan Fox, highly detailed, white marble statue, and so on. But also some more keywords like intricate details, hyper-realist, and so forth. Yeah, and of course, a big question now is how, what is the next step for art, actually? Will the highest honor for an artist in the future be that he has become a prompt input? And what does this mean for creatives all over the world? It's actually a very philosophical question that I don't really have the answer to. What is certain is that this is bootstrapping a new age of mechanical reproduction. It's the dawn of the age of artificial reproduction. This is the beginning of a new art era, because now we can, in a few seconds, create images that took old masters years to perfectionize. And it's also the beginning of a new political era as a consequence. And there's a conclusion, that we need to draw. Art never dies, of course, it evolves. Only the best memes will survive, because the markets will be flooded with new images, like there are millions of images generated this way and making their way to the internet every day now. So only the best ones obviously will survive. And many jobs will disappear very fast, very soon. So I don't know, if you guys are studying a job in design, you may want to have a look at this. Now finally, there are 3 predictions that I want to make today. This, by the way, hide the pain herald generated using AI. Businesses will soon run image AIs in-house, like they are running tools like Photoshop today. The reason why that is the case is more of a legal question. Because, for example, if you use these open source algorithms to generate these images, they are in the public domain, meaning that you can steal any image now, you can download any image and use it for your own purposes without paying royalties or credits to anyone. And this obviously is very disruptive and a problem for large corporations, because they want to keep the exclusive rights to the stuff that they generate. Second prediction, Google search is dead. When we Google something, we usually do it for 2 purposes. The first one is because we want to learn more about an object. The second one is because we want to use an object or an image for our own purposes, like in a presentation or something. This second part is easily disrupted because the open source images are available for free. There's no need for stock photo websites anymore. The first part is a bit more tricky, but at the end of the day, what it means is that in the future, there will not only be the real existing images on the internet, but there will be any crazy image that, we cannot even think of, and there will be any variation of every object possible making its way somehow to a server on the internet. And this obviously means that there's not really a need for Google anymore. But Google is also aware of this. They actually have their own in-house generative AI called Imagine. And in my opinion, what's going to happen is that Google will introduce this AI into their search. And when you search for something and you don't find the result that you want, Google is simply going to tell you, hey, just generate it. And finally, and this is the point that I made at the very beginning, how the video star is going to die, is that the internet will be flooded with this AI-generated media. The models of the future will be AI-generated. The video stars of the future will be AI-generated. The anime characters of the future will be AI-generated. And they will all write the stories of the future this way. And that's why I want to show you this, because this is actually my own conclusion that I took from all of this. I have started to do something that would not have been possible for me without this technology. I'm doing my own comic. I'm starting to really explore what this technology actually means in practice. And what I came up with is something a bit strange, a bit weird, but that is actually the consequence of these AI generated images. And it's a comic called We Are the Golems. It also uses NFT technology. It combines all the new advancements that we made in tech over the past like 2 or 3 years in this domain into one thing. And yeah, I hope I didn't scare you too much. But again, if you have a job in graphic design, in the creative industry in any sense, have a look at this, because this is the most disruptive technology since Google search, and you don't want to miss it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Although I'm not sure if we should thank you, because that is slightly depressing. Does anybody have any questions for the moment? In which case, once again, so you run an agency, you have customers. So how are you currently using, again, practically speaking, how are you currently using AI to run your business?
Yeah, so what we are doing at the agency is we have recognized this trend a while ago. We actually recognized it as soon as DALL-E came out. And we were thinking, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean for the future, also for the agency business? And I showed you guys this slide with the in-house algorithms that are going to be run. This is actually what we are doing. We are now setting up for global corporations, which are our clients, this kind of tech so that they can use these algorithms in-house. And we're also using it in the creative part of the agency, so we almost don't use stock photo sites anymore. We generate everything with AI. We use it to make our concepts, to make our mood boards, and to really, push the edge into a new domain that was completely unthinkable like a year ago.
Yeah. Very good. Any other questions? Not for the moment. In which case, if can I invite our other speakers up on stage? Sorry, Daniel, you had a question? Yes, please.
What would be your advice to any artists that are probably worried about their jobs?
My advice is that the future is very uncertain, but there is no way this stuff is going to disappear. And I don't have the answer to this very philosophical question, but I'm quite convinced that there will be many artists who will have a deep psychological crisis because of this. We are already seeing reports like people who want to file legal complaints about this stuff because they're seeing that their art is being copied and they don't really understand what's going on or what to make of this. So my advice is have a look at this tech, try to comprehend what it means for the future of this industry and try to fight on the forefront. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. Because you're creating a comic book, right? So who owns the copyright to that?
Yeah, well.
Oh, maybe I should have asked.
That's the big question. Technically, like for example, this comic, it's being generated using DALL-E mostly. And when you use DALL-E, which is owned by OpenAI, you share the copyright with OpenAI. But for my comic, it's a bit more special because it involves NFTs, for example. If you own the NFT of one of the characters inside of the comic, you can actually write the story together with me, the creator. This is a very complicated question still.
All right, we have another question.
Yeah, I would like to know, do you think it is a solution that AI-created pictures will be signed, that they are created by an AI? Do you think that's a solution that can help solve this issue?
So this is actually something that I've been thinking about a lot. At the very beginning, when I first heard about this tech, I asked myself, okay, there need to be some kind of label. For example, in Norway, they have now introduced a law that every edited image that you put online, if it's only a small filter that you have used, a small face filter, you need to label it. And at first I thought, okay, this is the solution, like we need to have laws like this. But it becomes very complicated very fast because you could also do it the other way around. like, for example, have something like a bio label for human-generated art. So you say, yeah, this art was actually made by a human. It's not AI made. So then already you have two schools, the one that argues for AI labels, the other one that argues for bio labels. It's a quite complicated topic, but what is certain is that there needs to happen something on the regulatory level. But I can tell you that this fight is only just starting because many people still don't even know what's happening.
Are there any other questions? Yeah, 1 second. Let me come up to you. And sorry, what's your name? Your name? Victor.
Vito. I wanted to ask if you could differentiate an AI picture or copyright a picture that is in your comic book, for example, because if you say someone can AI create your comic book, could it be copied and then reused, or is there a way to differentiate it to make it your own?
So there's actually two parts to this question. The first one is, can you recognize an AI-generated image? The answer is sort of, because the quality at the moment is very often still a bit weird. You can sometimes see that the hands of the characters have 6 fingers, for example. So the trained human eye can still recognize whether something is uncanny or not. The other part of the question is way more philosophical again, and way more futuristic also. And on my Twitter, I once made a thread on this topic, and I think I coined the term infinite recursive art loop, because what's happening now is that there are libraries where you can see which prompt inputs were used to generate which image. So if you would know the prompt to my image, you can simply go ahead, copy the prompt, generate 1 million images that look totally different from what I had generated, or you can simply change one word in this prompt and generate another 1 million images that would be completely different to what I made with the initial prompt. So if I make the comic with one prompt, you can take this prompt, change 2 or 3 words, and make the same comic all over again in a different art style. And that's why I say infinite recursive art loop. If you know the beginning, you can always add something on top. You can always improve or increase the speed to which these images are being generated.
Are there any other questions? No? Fantastic. Misch, once again, thank you very much. Can I just have the other speakers to come quickly back on stage for a round of applause? Misch, come up here, come up here. Thank you very much.
Also a round of applause for this guy.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Right, can we get an official photographer to take a picture? Anyone? Go on, Daniel.
Yeah, take my phone.
By the way, if you want to get in contact with any of these guys, their Twitter, do you guys want to share your Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever it is?
I'm 0x Jaku.
LinkedIn Samuel Benz, like Mercedes.
And I'm Misch Strotz with an O instead of a 0. With a 0 instead of an O, sorry.
Very good. And I'm Dirk Danen, of course, from TEDx Luxembourg City. Very good. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's one super enthusiastic person. Thank you. Guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the conference.